Do you scream for ice cream? Welcome back to Unwrapped. Today we're doing ice cream. I have Breyers, Häagen-Dazs, Kemp's, and Private Selection by Kroger. I'm going to rank each one on a scale of 1 to 10 based on taste, texture, flavor in general, how strong it is, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. It's crazy. Okay, the 1 gallon thing of ice cream costs as much as like a tiny little pint or whatever of Häagen-Dazs. So that stuff better be good. I'm doing all vanilla ice cream. I know it's boring. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, but in order to get a good handle on how good the actual ice cream is, you have to try the basic boring flavor. I'm looking at texture, I'm looking at flavor, I'm looking at sort of nuances. Is there like weird bitterness or something like that in the flavor? And often, when you have those fancy ice creams, you can't taste those details, okay? I'm not a sucker about my ice cream, is what I'm saying. It smells fine. To be honest, it doesn't smell like a whole lot. It smells like ice cream, vanilla. Let's try it. There's not much to it. It kind of has there's some weird flavor in there. What is that? I can't really place what it is. It's like a chemical taste almost. It kind of ruins it. I just love vanilla ice cream. I know it's the most boring flavor. I don't care. I love it. Kemp's vanilla ice cream gets a 4 out of 10. It's not terrible, but it's not very good. Let's move on to Breyers. Here we go. Breyers homemade vanilla. This one's lighter. This one's like physically lighter than the other one. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. Much better. Much better. Yeah, there's none of that weird medicinal flavor or chemical flavor or whatever it was in the Kemp's. Much better. Although the texture's not quite as good. It's just a little bit icier. That could just be because it melted though. You ever melted and tried to refreeze ice cream? Big mistake. You're like, oh, it's frozen. It'll be fine. It won't be fine. Yeah, this is better. This is noticeably better. It's not some massive jump, but this is, you know what it is? The Kemp's vanilla almost tastes like a frozen yogurt or something. With the Breyers, you really get some of that creamy, it tastes just more like ice cream, I guess. Yeah, it's a lot fluffier. I really didn't think it was gonna be this good. I think Breyers is like $5 for a half gallon or something like that, $4 maybe even. It's almost like it's whipped. It's like whipped ice cream kind of, which probably they then can get away with not putting as much in the half gallon because if you whip it up with a bunch of air, overall the Breyers is much better than the Kemp's. The Kemp's has better texture, but basically everything else about this is better than Kemp's. It might not be quite as strong a flavor, but the flavor is way better, so I don't like that strong flavor if it's bad. So this is better flavor, slightly worse texture, much better aftertaste, more like creamy ice cream flavor, not so much like a frozen yogurt. 6.5 out of 10. 6.5. And now, on to Private Selection by Kroger. This is Private Selection Double Vanilla. Double. 2 times the amount of vanilla. Let's see if it's actually any different. So many of these vanilla things I think are just marketing. You know, homespun vanilla or whatever. Double vanilla, vanilla bean. Like, is there any actual difference between these things? I'm not convinced. Maybe this will change my mind. It sounds different. Kind of really icy. And it's the worst texture so far. But the flavor is definitely better than the Kemp's. The flavor might actually be better than Breyers. It's really strong vanilla. Double vanilla, you might even say. The texture is pretty icy though. The flavor, I think, is best. It's a really strong vanilla flavor with none of the kind of medicinal flavors. Although, no, it's worse than the Breyers, I'm pretty sure. It does have a slightly better vanilla flavor, I'd say, but it doesn't have as much of that kind of actual cream flavor. Here's what I've learned so far today. Kemp's ice cream is really, really bad. I might take it down from a 4 to like a 2. This is good. It's not as good as Breyers. It's just slightly worse because the texture's not as good and it doesn't have that cream flavor, but the vanilla flavor is a bit better. Doesn't have any of that weird medicinal thing that was going on with the Kemp's. 6 out of 10 for the Private Selection Double Vanilla. And now, on to Häagen-Dazs. I have high hopes for this one. Alright, check this out. There's actually a peel off top on this one. I already took off the lid part. Häagen-Dazs Vanilla. I was pretty impressed when I first took off the lid and saw that plastic that I peeled off. After scooping it, I'm much less excited because it was kind of hard. Wow. That is the worst texture of any of them, and it's not even close. Yeah, just icy. You ever seen that show, Ice Road Truckers? That's this. That's basically this. I kind of wonder if this melted and refroze or something, because it's really icy. Kemp's is moving down to a 3, because this is worse than both the Breyers and the Private Selection. Especially considering the price. It's really not very good. Häagen-Dazs is supposed to be like a really high quality brand, isn't it? You know, it's better than Kemp's because it doesn't have that chemical flavor. But that's about all it has going for it. It's a much weaker vanilla flavor than actually either the Breyers or the Private Selection. It's a worse texture than any of the other 3. Yeah, there's no cream flavor either. Like good, really good ice cream, you can taste the cream. This, you cannot. Maybe their other flavors are good? I don't know. I just keep eating it, expecting that like, oh, maybe the next bite's gonna actually be good. And it keeps not being good. Häagen-Dazs Vanilla, it's a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Yeah, really nothing impressive about it, besides the price tag. Price tag is really high, so that's worth something, I guess. So, to recap, Breyers is number 1, surprisingly, actually. I would have thought that was probably going to be 3rd. Private Selection, which I thought would be 4th, is number 2 at 6. Häagen-Dazs is at 3rd place with 4, and Kemp's is at 4th place with 3. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed your time, and we'll see you next time.